devilish temptation. Jason wandered through the empty streets, gripping a flask of whiskey in his pocket. 3 months had passed since his life was torn apart. His wife had left, taking everything he had built over the years. He tried to hold on, work, the gym, new hobbies, but nothing helped. The sleepless nights became torture, and every shadow whispered memories of the past. Tonight, he walked without a destination, lost in thought, until he saw her. Lilith. She stood beneath a flickering street lamp, bathed in an eerie glow, too perfect for this world. Long black hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her green eyes shimmered like embers. She smiled, not just kindly, but as if she had known him forever. "It's lonely wandering the city at night, isn't it?" Her voice was soft, almost melodic. He couldn't look away. The world around him blurred, became insignificant. They walked, talked, laughed. Everything about her was too flawless. The way she moved, her perfect manners, the faint scent of something sweet and spicy. Jason felt trapped but made no effort to escape. "Come with me," she whispered, leaning in so close he could feel her breath on his skin. He nodded. He didn't think. He just followed. Her home was an old Victorian mansion, crumbling and overgrown with vines. Inside, only flickering candlelight, the scent of roses, and a faint metallic smell. A shiver crept down his spine, but it faded as Lilith leaned in closer. Her lips were warm, the taste of wine intoxicating, but something was wrong. He opened his eyes and saw the mirror. His blood turned to ice. Her reflection moved with a delay. Then, slowly, it turned its head. Though Lilith herself remained still, the smile in the mirror widened impossibly, revealing long, jagged teeth. And then, its eyes met his, and the distorted version of Lilith whispered, "You are already mine." Cold terror gripped him. Lilith didn't react. She only stared. Then the candles flickered violently. The walls trembled, shadows stretched unnaturally, as if coming to life. A faint scratching sound echoed from the corners of the room, as if something was trying to crawl out. She was no longer the beautiful woman standing before him seconds ago. Her eyes had become two black voids, her skin thinned and cracked, and a sickening stench of rot seeped from her mouth, clinging to the air like decay. "Why do you always run?" she whispered, her voice layered as though 100 voices spoke in unison. Jason lunged for the door, but the shadows coiled together, blocking his escape. Lilith moved impossibly fast now, her body bending at unnatural angles. Dark veins spread beneath her skin, and black, tar-like liquid dripped from her nails. He grabbed the nearest object, a silver candlestick, and struck her with all his strength. She only laughed, cold and piercing. The laughter cut off abruptly, and she murmured, "You have no idea what I will do to you." Jason saw the mirror. In it, she was no longer human. A shriveled, skeletal creature stood before him, its ribs exposed, its flesh black as night, empty sockets where its eyes should have been. It twitched, its lips unmoving, yet he heard the whisper directly in his mind. "Don't look. Don't look. Look at yourself," Jason whispered, raising a shard from the broken glass table. The creature froze. Fear flickered in its empty gaze. It let out a piercing scream, the walls trembled violently, and then everything vanished. Jason woke up on the cold pavement. The morning light chased away the night's horror. Behind him, the decayed Victorian mansion loomed, untouched by time. But now he knew the truth. Lilith hadn't vanished. She remained, in his reflection. And one day, she would claim him again. And now story number 2. The Whispering Doll. Ethan never believed in ghosts. Stories of the supernatural were for children and the weak, but that was before he found the doll. That night, the town was drowning in a storm. He was searching for a place to shelter from the downpour when he noticed an old antique shop on the outskirts. The neon sign "Open" flickered in the dark as if struggling to stay on. Something about the place pulled him inside. The smell of aged wood, dust, the heavy silence. He was about to leave when he saw it. A large porcelain doll, nearly life-sized. Long silk hair, delicate facial features, crimson lips frozen in a soft, too lifelike smile. And the eyes. Glass, but alive. "Take me with you," a woman's voice whispered, barely audible but clear. Ethan froze. He was alone. The shopkeeper at the counter stood motionless, staring at the wall, as if he heard nothing. He swallowed hard. It must have been his imagination. The doll beckoned to him. He reached out and took it home. It stood in the corner of his bedroom watching. He remembered leaving it in the living room. Why was it here? Had he moved it himself? He didn't want to think about it. He lay down on the bed, pulled the blanket over himself, and closed his eyes. But sleep didn't come. The dark room breathed. Then he felt it, warm breath, right by his ear. "Ethan," a sultry woman's voice echoed in his mind. "Now you're mine." He couldn't move. Smooth fingers brushed across his chest, burning his skin. Someone's lips slid along his neck. The breath hot, damp, too real. And then, a bite. Sharp pain in his shoulder, teeth sinking into flesh. The paralysis broke. He screamed, shoved the invisible body away, and frantically turned on the lamp. Light flooded the room. The doll stood exactly where it had been, but her crimson lips were stained with blood. The next day, he threw the doll away. It returned. He burned it. It didn't disappear. That same night, it waited for him in his bedroom. Every night, it came back. Every night, it touched him. Every night, its touches became more insistent, the bites deeper. His body was covered with bruises, deep scratches, and the marks of foreign teeth. He was slowly losing his mind. And one day, he made a mistake. He looked into her eyes too long and saw it. There was no reflection, no glass, only darkness. Moving, writhing shadows, mouths whispering foreign names, laughter that sounded like the moans of both pain and pleasure at once. And then, she smiled wider. "You're ready," she whispered. Ethan couldn't move. Her hands slipped beneath his skin, nails tearing through flesh, crawling inside. He screamed. But it didn't matter anymore. She tore him apart. When they found him days later, his body was dried out like a mummy, frozen in a horrific, painful smile. And in the corner of the room, the doll, motionless, waiting for the next owner. Thanks for watching till the end. What do you think of this story? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new exciting stories. See you in the next video.